Okay, RPG rules tutorial. We're going to have a look at rewards here. So we've got Stargirl 3000 fighting some of these droids. I'm going to defeat one of them. You see I've got 2 system credits, got a bit of XP, got lucky and got an enhancement there. And 4 XP, 4 credits, a bit more XP, and so on and so on. Where are these values coming from? So in the RPG rules resources RPG settings object under ranks, every rank of character like minion's got a table set up, minion rewards, and you can see here that awards 20 XP, between 2 to 5 system credits with 100% chance, and a bunch of other things up here which we'll take a look at. What we're going to have a look at first is we'll go to the droid minion and start making some new rewards from scratch, some custom ones. So I'm going to start off with a piece of equipment. We're going to create RPG rules gameplay equipment data, and we're going to make a droid helmet. Whoops, got caps lock on. Droid helmet, capital H. And equipment data can be a number of things. First of all, we're going to do one that's a wearable item, so it goes on the secondary defense slot for the character. We'll give it one effect, one status effect when we're wearing it, that it gives us resistance minor since it's secondary. No damage, it's not a weapon, no special condition for being able to use it. We'll make it a worn item, so it's a little bit harder to disarm for disarm powers there. And for settings, we're going to use the standard equipment settings. We'll have a look at them in a bit. Accessory, when we wear that item, we want it to show the helmet on our head. That's a little round helmet the Q-Cops use. But this one, we'll make it gold. You can pick whatever material you want. We will give it an icon. We've got defense minor. It's the standard icon for secondary defense equipment in the way I've set things up. So that's the icon to appear in inventories, and we'll give it the radiation color so that it looks gold, kind of. And this droid helmet is, this equipment data is a type of reward, so we can just pop that into the extra rewards for the droid minion. And there we go. Then now we'll drop a droid helmet every time we defeat one of them. Let's have a look. And there's a helmet on the floor, alright. Collect droid helmet, we collected, we put it on. We saw some sparkles when we picked it up there. When it was on the floor, it had these other little gold sparkles around it. And, you know, it's given us a status bonus, which doesn't have a little icon for. Because you don't want to have icons for every piece of equipment here, since they're sort of static things. Okay, so that just drops that one item and we can equip it and wear it. Let's have a look at those settings now for that. So the droid helmet uses the standard equipment settings. And that's where it says, when this item is dropped in the world, play the twinkles effect on it. Those little stars we saw. When we collect it, play the twinkles collect effect, which is the kind of ring and the stars going upwards. And we had auto collect and auto pick up unticked. So we have to run over to the item and manually pick it up. Now, if we make it auto collect, that means the item gets collected as soon as we kill the enemy. Boom. As soon as we kill them, we get the item, it goes into our inventory. Throw that one away. If we make it auto pick up but not auto collect, that means it drops the item on the floor and we just have to run through it to get it. Similar to the boost I picked up there. If we have a look at that's the standard equipment settings, and I'll untick them, and these are shared between all pieces of equipment. Right. If we have a look for the boost equipment setting, that's here, they're auto pickup. So they drop onto the ground as those little energy balls that we saw, which get tinted by the thing. They also, by the way, have a consume effect. When you eat a boost, you get a blue shockwave around your head, coloured to match the boost. And that's common for all boosts, all pills in the way I've set up this game. So you may decide all pills you want to go straight into your inventory without even appearing on the floor. Do that. Tick auto collect. And all the equipment data for all the boosts references that boost setting there. Okay, back to our droid helmet. So we have the standard equipment settings, we've set that back to normal. If we have a look at the other equipment settings we've got while we're here, we can see there's a stun grenade one, where one of the grenade effects that normally plays on the grenade, a little glowing ball to appear in the world. So it looks like this is if a character drops a grenade, which you can pick up and use as a device. You get that one. You get to see it on the floor like that. We'll go through that in a min. And we have the sci-fi one, which uses sci-fi pickup effects, which has a different prefab, which is not only the twinkle particle effect, but a spinning cube as well. And the reason for that is that the sci-fi equipment decided it wasn't going to put accessories on it. You know, in a more sort of sci-fi superhero game, when your character equips equipment, you don't want to be seeing visible helmets and so on. It does look a bit out of place there. Unlike a fantasy game where you might. And when you drop an item into the world, let's go to characters, droid minion, like the droid helmet. If you've got an accessory, it'll show the mesh for that accessory. So that's why we're seeing little helmets in the world here. And they get the twinkles added. For the sci-fi items, belt, for example, has no accessory, but it uses sci-fi equipment settings, so you see a little gold box for everything, with the twinkles added to them. Okay, so that's what equipment settings do, the shared settings for how equipment data behaves. So we'll make another piece of equipment now. We're going to make droid knuckles. Where are we going? Gameplay, equipment data, droid knuckles. And they are going to be a primary offense item. Yeah, that'll do then. We'll have one effect, and we're going to make a little add power buff. RPG rules status, add powers buff. I'm just going to call it add droid punch, and that adds the power droid punch. There we go. And the droid knuckles are going to use the add, they give you that status while you're wearing them. They're handheld again, none of that. Settings. Now for these we're going to use the sci-fi one because I don't have an accessory for them. Icon will use power melee icon because that's a fist, and we'll give it the gold color again, radiation. Okay, so we'll drop that on our minion as well. They're going to drop a droid helmet and droid knuckles every time we defeat one of them, which is generally not what you want to do in game. Fix this up in a minute. Okay, go and kill a droid. Bam, bam, bam. And we can see we've got the droid helmet. And where did those knuckles go? There's some knuckles there. And the knuckles appear as a cube because they've got the sci-fi settings which has the cube built into the effects. So yeah, we pick them up, they give us these droid knuckles, which now gives us the droid punch power, which is actually a kick. Yeah, so that's two pieces of equipment there. Now, what if I wanted to only drop one of these pieces of equipment? Either or. We could create an equipment table for that. Gameplay equipment table, and I'll call this droid equipment table. and I'm going to drag the droid knuckle helmet and the droid knuckles in there as two pieces of equipment. And on our droid minion, we will now give them just one extra reward item, which will be the droid equipment table. So that's going to pick a random one of these items for every minion we defeat. We've got a odds-on chance we might get two different ones here. So it's now become a little bit more gambly, a little bit more exciting. Woohoo, we got the knuckles. That wasn't a given this time. Next time, oh, we got the knuckles again, so they just go in our common inventory there. Yep, let's make a few more things to put in that table. So we'll create another piece of equipment. Gameplay, equipment data, and we're going to make a droid pill. So this will be a boost, a consumable. We'll give it one effect. It gives us a force field. We've got a drone force shield. That looks pretty good. That'll give us that for 30 seconds, a damage shield. Accessibility doesn't matter anymore. Settings, equipment settings, will you give it the boost settings, since it's a boost. Whoops. Click on there. Boost settings, the icon will go boost small, boost medium maybe, 'cause it's a special one. Tinted piercing silver, since nothing else has that. And that's a droid pill now, so we can pop that into our table as well. So we might get a boost instead now. Let's make another equipment data. Do two just now. Gameplay, equipment data, and we're going to make a droid device. We'll call it droid grenade. And it will be of type device. Device power, we're going to pick stun grenade, which is a little grenade we have. We've got that grenade setting set up already. Stun grenade settings there. And we will give it the toxic tint, make it green with the projectile explosive icon. Yep, that's all we need to do for that. And we'll drop that into the table as well. Now, in order to make this work nicely, I'm just going to do a little hack. I'm just going to duplicate this so we actually get 3 rolls on the table. So when we kill these 2 droids, we should hopefully get all of those things. Let's see how that works out for us. Okay, what have we got? We've got a droid helmet, put that on. There's the pill that exploded immediately when we walked on it. We've got some knuckles, another helmet, didn't get a grenade. But with the droid pill, we can see, gives us a damage shield. And when we popped that, there was a little shockwave around our head, silver shockwave, as advertised. In the consume settings for that was droid pill, boost settings, had a shockwave around your head, it just rings come off around your head when you open that up. Just try that again, see if we get the grenades. If not, I'll have to force it to happen. Ah, there we go. So there's a little grenade sitting there. We go collect grenade, and we get the collect effect, and you can see now that's put a device in here, and it's got a countdown. Down to 2 now, down to 1. When we throw the 3rd one, the power disappears. Maybe get some more. And that wasn't a droid minion. So yeah, so we've got there a mixed table of rewards, different equipment data. Let's just see which other types we have to do still. We'll create RPG rules, gameplay, more equipment data. I'll make this droid PowerUp. So that is a PowerUp. Effects 1. We'll get it to give us the... we've got a red damage shield kicking around, I think this one. Which Rainbow Guy had. Settings, we'll use the boost settings. And icon, don't need one. So PowerUp works like a boost, kind of, in that it's going to drop on the floor, and when we run through it, instead of picking it up into our inventory to use later, we just consume it immediately. Now in the droid minion, just for testing this, I'll drop that droid PowerUp into the third entry there, so we always get one. So we'll now get 2 rolls on the table and a PowerUp. Take them from a distance. And where's that PowerUp gone? That's the PowerUp, that red one there. And as soon as I run through that, I get a PowerUp, unlike the force fields. Watch out for the silver rings around my head, which come from the pills, from the boosts. Okay, let's pare this down a little bit now. Let's just go back to the equipment table. And let's show you what else we can do with that. So I'm just going to drop it down now to just the knuckles and the helmet, because they're the 2 wearable items. What we can do is we can add prefixes to that. We'll go with giant, accelerated, did we have? And martial. These are names of little buffs that I've made earlier. Like martial gives you +5 dexterity, that kind of thing. You know, suitable for equipment. And what it's going to do now, when we roll this table, it's going to give us a random one of these onto the beginning of the item. So it'll be a giant droid helmet or accelerated droid knuckles or something like that. And then we've got suffixes as well, which will... oh, wait. We need to go number of prefixes. We'll have 1 prefix per item. And it has dropped martial droid knuckles, which give us the droid punch and +5 dexterity. Defeat the next minion. Ooh, dropped a couple of things. Martial droid knuckles. Right, and we've got a solar visor of Venus, is an actual piece of equipment which we've got a 5% chance of dropping from minions, which has got a prefix and a suffix to it. Solar is +5 endurance, of Venus is +2 hit points a second, and the visor gives it 10% to all defense. Nice. Yep, so that's prefixes. We can have, we could say 3 prefixes. I'll do the suffixes as well. I'll make a little suffix table of 3. What do we have there? Of Venus. These are some of the sci-fi ones. Of Siberius, which is a payload to some of your attacks, and of Jane D. Naught, named after some of my comic characters there. So now we're going to get 3 prefixes. We're going to get some pretty crazy items. We have the giant martial accelerated droid knuckles of Venus. Don't mind if I do. Got a normal item as well. And over here we have martial giant droid knuckles of Siberius. Right. What you could do, if you wanted to make a table that mixes things up a little bit, is say make this have a null entry at the end. None. And we'll have 6 of them. So you get 3 rolls, each of which might turn up nothing. That way the player's kind of, oh, is this going to be a good one? You know you've got a 1 in 8 chance of getting 3 prefixes on each item. Here we got a martial accelerated droid helmet. Pretty good, 2 prefixes there. giving us all those bonuses. This one, Droid Helmet of Siberius. You know, got no prefixes for that one. And so on. So yeah, that's how the equipment tables work. These drop conditions, every reward has them. You can, if you like, put a condition when they're going to drop, like a could go, it only drops 10% of the time, is a very obvious one. You could get this to drop for, you know, have extra drops that happen when a character has a certain buff on them, if you want to engineer something like that. I'll just leave them at none for now. Okay, so that's equipment data. Characters, droid minion. Let's have a look at enhancements now. So if we go to the droid minion, we can also drop enhancements. So instead of an equipment table, we're just going to drop a accuracy damage enhancement every time. And they are not equipment data, but they're still a type of reward. They will just go to the enhancement inventory there. We've got an accuracy damage one. I think we've got a damage one naturally as well. Yep, and they're the ones we can slot into powers like this, you know, to make our powers better. We can also make an enhancement table. RPG rules, gameplay, enhancement table. So we'll call this droid enhancement table, and we'll have, I know what I'll do, we'll put 4 enhancements in there. And I'm going to put some of the Thunderstruck ones in here to illustrate something else. So we're going to get a random enhancement off this table every time. And droid minion, we're going to give them the droid enhancement table now. So instead of just dropping that one enhancement, they get a random enhancement. Actually, I'll make that 2. We'll get it to drop 2 of them each time. Because what I want to talk about quickly here is set items. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Got a couple of things there. So I've got the Thunderstruck accuracy damage end, accuracy damage end, and accuracy damage end. Oh, that was bad luck. They're set items. So you can see there's 6 of them in the list there. And if you get 3 items, you get a particular bonus. 6 items, you get another bonus. I haven't filled out all the bonuses for these yet. But yeah, it is possible to set up either enhancements or wearable equipment as set items, where you can get extra bonuses for collecting the set. So that was giving us random enhancements from a table there. Okay, putting all this together, going one level higher now. What if we make a create RPG rules gameplay reward table, the highest level one. Droid reward table. So we've got a droid equipment table, a droid enhancement table. We're going to say we'll have 1 extra equipment table, which will be the droid equipment table. We have a 20% chance of getting something from that, and the droid enhancement table will make an entry for that, where we've got a 50% chance of getting one of the enhancements. And you could say as well, let's have some, we won't add extra XP, but let's add some currency, research credits. 100% will make it between 1 and 3. And I'm going to see if I've got, equipment table data for gold. So if we look at the gold, that was set up of type currency. It has an icon. The settings will give it the sci-fi settings. So you get a little twinkling gold cube there. Wield condition, we don't need any effects, but it's just a placeholder one, which when we use the reward table, droid reward table, it's going to make one of them for the research credits, and that'll be a little collectible item there. So that's our reward table. We'll give that to the droid minion. One droid reward table. So what I've done here is I've built this up kind of, you can make this as complex as you like. Each of these rewards can either be a single particular object, a table of objects, or a structure with multiple tables of objects. And I'll show you the standard ones and a few other features in a minute. So now this should drop when we defeat them. What's it dropped? Collect gold. And that gold gave us 2 research credits. I think we lucked out of the other stuff. And here we've got collect gold. And I could rename that to research credits, that item, and we collected 4 there. And yeah, I think we didn't get lucky with the dice rolls for the tables there. Let's just stop them and try again. So if we put them both to 100%, that'll prove it inconclusively, I think. And yeah, this is all scriptable objects assets, so we can change them in play mode and they update. There we go. Right, so now we've dropped Martial Accelerated Knuckles of Siberius, gold, and the enhancement went straight into our inventory. Enhancements never drop on the ground. They're set up to just go straight in there. Collect gold and collect some helmet as well. Yep. So that's how to set up your own pieces of equipment. Let me just take you through the default ones now quickly. So if we go to the RPG settings object and we'll have a look at the minion rewards here, we have 3 sci-fi equipment tables listed here with a 5% chance to drop, and that should be a 10. And this one will drop if you're between levels 0 and 10. This one will drop if you're between levels 11 and 20. This is the defeated enemies level. And for example, this one here, minor, has a group of particular prefixes. The major one has better prefixes, higher boosts, and so on. And the double one, which you get for level 20 up enemies, has all of them, and you get 2 rolls, 2 prefixes. So you could get the elemental, organic, helmet of Nemerensis, or something like that. Yeah. And then there's also a boost table minor, which has just got all the boosts in it. No prefixes and suffixes. And notice some of them are weighted, like there's 3 entries for damage, 3 for healing. Only 1 for resistance or mes resist, because they're less useful, less common. They are less common now. Yeah. And then we've got an enhancement table, 0% chance for minions to drop that. The reason I've left that in there is because we've got like boss rewards that are the same but with a higher chance for all of them to drop. 10% chance to get an enhancement of a boss. Each one has their own XP. Bosses give you 120, minions give you 20. Minions give you between 2 to 5 currency, it's just system credits. The boss gives you 100% of 5 to 15 system credits, and so on and so on. I've done a couple of other fancy little things here. If we go to RPG Rules, Universe Gun, Characters, QMAC, the Science Police Space Cops, they've got their own equipment table here with a few little devices and a 5% chance for them to drop. And every character in here has got, in this group, has got the QMAC drops as an extra reward. So that was just like a nice fun thing. They occasionally drop some grenades or a stun button and so on. And kind of cool as well, in that you're often fighting them in prisons and neutralising superpowers in certain rooms. So you can pick up their equipment and fight back with them if your own powers get wiped out. We also here have virtual boss, lieutenant and minion rewards, which are copies of the normal tables but with all the equipment taken out. And this is for when you're fighting hologram Q-cops in the danger room. They don't drop equipment, they just drop boosts and XP. You know, because you can't really pick up a stun baton or grenades from a hologram being destroyed. Yeah, so there are a couple of extra things I've done with the reward tables there. So just for a quick recap then, you've got equipment data which can make boosts, devices, power-ups, drop in currency, or wearable equipment to go in a particular slot. You give it status effects to apply under the right conditions. You have these settings to say what it'll look like and how it'll behave. Whether you're going to pick it up by running through it or have a command, and or whether it just goes straight into your inventory. Yeah, then you just give them icons for how they appear in the inventory. And a reward can be either a single item, a table of items, either equipment with prefixes and suffixes optional, or a table of enhancements, or it can be a full-blown reward table with XP, currency, and percentage chances and level gating to roll on equipment and enhancement tables. All of them are a reward you can add to a character or to an objective when we get to that. So that is everything for rewards.